Hello and welcome to Official Senior Health, where we bring you simple, science-backed tips to make your golden years truly shine. I'm your host, and today we're uncovering a pantry secret that could transform your energy levels, stabilize your blood sugar, and protect your heart, all by swapping out just a few loaves. That's right, we'll reveal the three breads every senior should avoid at all costs. And then I'll introduce you to three delicious alternatives that do your body real favors. But before we dive in, here's a quick question. Have you ever noticed that after a couple of slices of bread, you feel sluggish, a bit foggy, and suddenly craving a nap? It's not your imagination. Some breads act like sugar bombs, sending your blood glucose soaring and then crashing down. And you deserve better than that roller coaster ride. Stick around because later you'll discover the one bread that not only avoids those spikes but actually feeds the friendly bacteria in your gut, improving digestion, mood, and even memory. You won't want to miss that. Now, let's begin our journey through the bread aisle, starting with the loaf that lurks in nearly every kitchen, waiting to trip up your vitality. The first culprit we'll examine is the classic white sandwich bread. Picture it: soft texture, uniform color, shelf life that seems endless. It almost feels like eating a pillow. But make no mistake, this fluffy loaf is the poster child for refined grains. During processing, wheat kernels are stripped of their bran and germ, the very parts packed with fiber, vitamins, and minerals. What remains is largely pure starch, which your body breaks down rapidly into glucose. After just a few bites, blood sugar spikes, triggering your pancreas to release a surge of insulin. You're left with a fleeting burst of energy, followed by a crash that leaves you reaching for sweets or more bread, often without realizing why. For seniors managing type 2 diabetes or prediabetes, this cycle can be especially dangerous. Elevated blood glucose over time damages tiny blood vessels, increasing the risk of neuropathy, vision problems, and heart disease. And if you've noticed your energy dipping mid-morning after that peanut butter sandwich, white bread might be the sneaky saboteur. Imagine you're out for a morning walk, feeling enthusiastic, only to find your legs heavy and thoughts cloudy halfway through. That used to be me, until I made the simple switch away from white loaves. My walks regained their pep, and my mind felt clearer. Coming up, the next bread you'll be shocked to learn is hiding ingredients more common in candy bars than in wholesome baked goods. The second bread hiding in plain sight is labeled whole wheat. But if you glance at the ingredients, you'll see high fructose corn syrup, sugar, and a laundry list of preservatives. This mass-produced sandwich loaf banks on a marketing trick, slapping whole wheat on the packaging, even when most of the wheat has been heavily processed back to near-refined levels. It often contains starchy fillers, emulsifiers, and dough conditioners that turn it into a perfectly uniform product that stays fresh for weeks, even months. But that shelf life comes at the cost of your health. Those added sugars and refined fillers raise the glycemic index almost as high as white bread. One slice can trigger an insulin surge equivalent to a small candy bar. Over years, this constant pressure on your pancreas can lead to insulin resistance. That's a gateway to metabolic syndrome, a cluster of conditions including high blood pressure, elevated blood sugar, and unhealthy cholesterol levels. A dangerous trio that magnifies heart attack and stroke risk. Have you ever wondered why your sandwich seems too sweet? It's not your imagination. The hidden sugars designed to improve taste and softness are addictively engineered, nudging you to take one more slice and then another. For seniors who already contend with age-related insulin sensitivity changes, these bread traps can set off a chain reaction, making it harder to keep blood sugar in check. But wait, there's another loaf that masquerades as a breakfast treat but delivers a high-fat, high-sugar punch that could rattle your arteries faster than you think. It's time to talk about those bakery-style brioche buns, croissants, and sweet rolls that show up at brunch buffets and bakery shelves. They smell heavenly, like butter and sugar dance together in perfect harmony. Yet each bite can pack upwards of 10 grams of sugar and a hefty dose of saturated fat from butter or cream. While occasional pastries are a fine indulgence, turning them into a breakfast staple can seriously up your LDL cholesterol, the so-called bad cholesterol that clogs arteries over time. And for seniors who may already face age-related solidification of blood vessels, adding high sugar, high fat breads is akin to sprinkling salt on an open wound. Consider your heart's arteries as garden hoses. Healthy hoses remain flexible, expanding and contracting as blood pulses through them. But when you regularly consume these sugary, buttery loaves, plaque builds up, narrowing the passage until water barely trickles. That's how your blood vessels respond to. Over years, plaque buildup hardens into atherosclerosis, setting the stage for heart attacks or strokes. Imagine sitting down to what seems like a harmless cinnamon roll, only to feel a heaviness in your chest hours later. That sensation could be a warning sign, whispering that your arteries are under strain. And as we age, even a small nudge toward better choices can make a dramatic difference in how our hearts perform. Hold on tight because we're about to flip the script and unveil breads that can actually bolster your heart health, stabilize your blood sugar, and soothe your digestion. First among our hero breads is traditional sourdough. Yes, that tangy, chewy loaf your local artisan bakery sells for a premium. It's worth every penny. What sets sourdough apart is its natural fermentation process. Wild yeast and lactobacillus bacteria break down complex starches and gluten, lowering the glycemic index and enhancing nutrient absorption. The acidity created by fermentation slows the conversion of carbohydrates into sugars, meaning your blood glucose rises gently, if at all, preventing the peaks and valleys white bread inflicts. Perhaps most intriguing for seniors is the probiotic boost. While most bacteria die in the baking process, the organic acids and fermentation byproducts feed beneficial gut microbes. A balanced gut microbiome supports immune function, mood regulation, and even cognitive health. Several studies suggest that a healthy gut can reduce inflammation, a key driver of age-related diseases from arthritis to Alzheimer's. Think of sourdough as a two-in-one breakfast, a hearty bread and a prebiotic treat that keeps your inner ecosystem thriving. If you've ever watched a loaf of sourdough bubble and rise in a glass jar, you know it's alive. And when you slice into that crusty exterior, you're unleashing a wealth of gut-friendly goodness. Making the switch from sandwich loaves to sourdough was the turning point for my friend Margaret, age 78. Her digestion smoothed out, and her morning energy levels stayed steady until lunchtime. Keep watching because our next recommendation harnesses the power of nature's own sprout. Sprouted grain bread often flies under the radar, but it deserves a spotlight. Unlike conventional grains, sprouted grains begin to germinate, unlocking a cascade of beneficial enzymes, vitamins, and amino acids. The sprouting process reduces phytic acid, a natural compound that can bind minerals and block their absorption, and increases levels of vitamin C, B vitamins, and antioxidants. As a result, sprouted grain bread delivers more nutrition in every slice and makes those nutrients easier for your body to absorb. For seniors who sometimes struggle with vitamin and mineral deficiencies, sprouted grain bread can be a game changer. The extra B vitamins support energy metabolism and neurological function, while the added fiber promotes regularity, a concern for many older adults. Plus, sprouted grains tend to have a lower glycemic index than even some whole grains, meaning your blood sugar remains calm and steady. Imagine starting your day with a slice of sprouted grain toast topped with avocado, tomato, and a sprinkle of hemp seeds, nutrients converging to support your heart, brain, and bones. The nutty flavor and chewy texture make it a satisfying platform for any topping, sweet or savory. And for those wanting more protein, some sprouted grain loaves even incorporate legumes like lentils or chickpeas, further boosting your intake without relying on meat or dairy. And now for our final hero, prepare to meet the bread that stands out not just for what it contains, but for what it represents: true whole grain nourishment. Ezekiel bread, or any 100% whole grain rye loaf, is a time-honored staple that traces its lineage back centuries. Made from whole sprouted grains, legumes, and seeds, this bread embodies the concept of living food. It's dense, richly flavored, and loaded with fiber, plant-based protein, and phytonutrients. The combination of grains and legumes creates a complete amino acid profile, making it one of the few plant foods that rivals eggs or meat in protein quality. The high-soluble fiber content in rye and mixed grains forms a gel-like substance in the gut, slowing digestion and helping to lower LDL cholesterol. This makes Ezekiel bread an ideal ally for seniors aiming to manage cholesterol levels naturally. Additionally, the sustained energy release from this bread keeps you feeling satisfied for hours. No midday energy crashes, no urgent sugar cravings. Perhaps best of all, Ezekiel bread is remarkably versatile. Toast it lightly, slather on nut butter and sliced banana, or use it as the base for a savory open-faced sandwich with hummus, cucumber, and microgreens. The dense texture holds up to bold toppings that might otherwise make flimsy white toast soggy in seconds. Finally, one small swap in your pantry could transform your digestion overnight. More on that in just a moment. Before we wrap up, let's recap. We've exposed the hidden dangers of white sandwich bread, sugar-laden whole wheat loaves, and decadent bakery treats. Each carries the risk of blood sugar spikes, weight gain, and cardiovascular strain. Then we introduced you to sourdough, sprouted grain, and 100% whole grain rye. Three powerhouse breads that support steady energy, gut health, and heart protection. Now here's a tip that could turbocharge your switch. Always check the ingredient list. Look for breads with a single source of flour, minimal added sugars, and no mysterious preservatives. If cultured wheat or live fermentation is on the label, that's a sign you're in the right direction. And when in doubt, local bakeries often bake with fewer additives than mass-market brands. So don't hesitate to support small businesses while supporting your health. By making these simple swaps, you'll not only enjoy tastier, more satisfying slices, but also give your body the building blocks it needs to thrive. Imagine waking up without that energy slump, enjoying a walk or a hobby without mid-morning fatigue, and knowing that every bite is nurturing your heart and mind. If you found this guide helpful, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to Official Senior Health, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. And share in the comments which bread swap you're most excited to try. Your story might inspire someone else to make a positive change too. Thank you for watching. Here's to your health, happiness, and many more delicious mornings ahead, one slice at a time.